What is going on, y'all? Fat Man Weeze here. Back for a special video, even though at this point, these videos probably aren't that special. We got an update video. So, it's been a while since I posted, and I know that's about how it goes for me, so all of y'all should not be surprised. Record solid, or upload solidly for about a week, take about a week off, have an update video explaining why, back and forth. For those that get irritated by that, I'm very sorry. It's just, life happens. I've explained this in the past. You know, this channel is only a little part-time hobby for me, not a part-time job. I do enjoy it, and I like putting effort into it, but when other things come up, other things come up. And I will explain what I mean by other things. Nothing's wrong, nothing's bad, everything's pretty good, but I'll explain here in a minute. But I do also want to say, real quick, so, to me, we have hit a milestone. We have hit 20 subscribers. Now, that is a small number in comparison to 1,000, hell, even 100. But for a channel like this, to where almost no effort is really being put into it, and the upload schedule is all over the place, the types of videos that get recorded are inconsistent, you know, and the quality is lackluster. For me to have hit 20 subscribers, I just want to say thank you. I never imagined to get this much support, and I never honestly imagined. I figured back when I started this channel, September of 2020, I figured probably by December I would have dropped it. Earlier than that. I gave myself about a month before I got bored. But I haven't gotten bored yet. Other things have come up that have stopped me from being able to record. But the support from you guys has been amazing. I really, really do appreciate it. We've come a long way, and hopefully we have a long way to go. So, but to get into the short of things, here's what we're going to do. So, just because this is kind of one of my favorite games to play when I'm doing an update video, just because it's simple, it's easy, and I don't have to put much thought and effort into it. This is our background. We're going to do Balloons Tower Defense 6. 5, 6 is 6. I'm going to just do an Odyssey mode, whatever. I'm barely going to pay attention to it. But, what have I been up to? So, a lot of things, and not very many at the same time. As I think I told you guys in one of the last videos, I don't think I made an update video about this, but I'm currently without work. Financially, I'm okay, and I'm completely prepared for going the next couple months without work. I'm doing this to focus on school. I got one semester left, and I have a really bad habit, and the reason I haven't graduated yet is because I tend to put a lot more effort into work than I do school, which causes my grades to take a hit. So I am in the process of just going to chill, just going to step back from work for a little bit just to finish out this last semester. But I have not just been sitting home not doing anything. Certain things that I'm doing in my life day to day is, one, I've been visiting a local card shop pretty frequently over the past week. And a lot of times when I go in there, I'll sit down and I'll have long conversations with the store owner. Just about everything it takes to run a store, because where me and my girlfriend live currently is not where we're going to stay. In the city that we plan on moving to once we get school and everything resolved, they don't have any card shops. They don't have any tournament grade card shops, or shops that... They have a card shop, but it doesn't host tournaments. And it's more of a retro game shop rather than specifically a card and game shop. So, like, they have old video games and stuff like that. It's a cool shop, but I wanted to have a place that... I don't have camo detection. I wanted to have a place to where people can play, you know, tournament cards. Just because, you know, that's half the fun of a tournament, you know? Half the fun of the tournament is being able to build a deck, or of card games, is being able to build a deck and take it to tournaments, you know? So, but that aside, I've been spending a lot of time talking to him, just about everything that goes into opening a card shop, running a card shop. You know, I've been visiting other card shops around in the area, kind of seeing, you know, what they do right, what they do wrong. And I've just been learning a lot about opening a business, because with me being in hospitality management, I know I've always wanted to run a business, restaurant, store, something like that. But cards, collectibles, stuff like that, that's really where a lot of my passion is. So if I can get to a point where I can actually open up a card shop and have that card shop be successful, that would be like a dream come true for me. Now, there's a lot of things that go into that, and that's what I've been working on lately. I've also been working online. I have an eBay account to where I sell a lot of singles, a lot of cards, and that's kind of like my start to the card shop. I mean, I've been doing that for years and years, but I recently made a new account that's going to be aligned with my hopefully future business. All of it right now is just big talk, but I'm still hoping, you know. If you don't have a goal, then what's the point, right? So I've been working on that a lot lately. I have also been scheduling with all of my friends. I'm going to another part of trying to get some experience before, you know, a few years down the line I open up this card shop. I want to learn how to properly host and handle tournaments. So I'm currently in the process of setting up a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament to be hosted. You know, working on finding a venue, finding a date, finding a time, finding prizes. I got almost all of that sorted out. But I've also been in the process on the side of organizing all of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like alphabetically, which I have currently over 8,000 cards, which sure ain't that much, but you know, I did have some help to go through it the other night, and I thank my friends very dearly for that because I could not have made as big of a dent in it as I did without them. But I still have a long way to go. So I know me and my girlfriend spent about an hour and a half last night organizing a little bit more. And that's honestly what I've been doing. I've been working a lot to schedule this tournament, to help other people build their decks, to obviously build my own deck, because even though I'm hosting, I do want to participate too. Because I mean, it's not an official tournament, and I don't even know how many people there are actually going to be. But you know, just want to. Yeah, I miss going to tournaments. You know, the virus has put a big damper in that. But you know, we all have face masks. You know, I have a house. I also know a local card shop that's willing to let me host, as long as I keep it within, you know, a certain amount of people and go through all the proper, you know, sanitation ways. You know, make sure everything's clean and safe. So I've just been working a lot on that, thinking about that. School's also getting ready to start for me in 4 days, so I've been also trying to tie up all those loose ends, as well as I've been working on my truck a good bit because it's been not in bad shape. It's just my baby's getting old. My truck's getting old. 160,000 miles, almost 70,000 miles, 170,000 miles. I mean, she's not that old comparatively. You know, it's newer than what I used to drive. But at the same time, she had some things go out on her that I needed to work with to fix. So, but that's essentially just been a little glimpse into what's been going on in my life. I'm in the process of finishing up the Crystal Run now. I have recorded a good bit of videos for that. I just haven't gone in and edited it and then uploaded it, so I apologize about that. Hopefully I'll get some time. Probably not tonight because I got a buddy over because we're going to be trying to work on another project. But tomorrow they should start. Videos should resume again. But as far as what's coming on in the future, because at the update video, I feel like, you know, it's not a proper update if you don't talk about, well, where are we going next? But next, we are going to be... We're going to be finishing up Crystal as my main thing. And then I have 2 mainline series that are going to happen. One is going to be me and my girlfriend are going to start, we're going to try if we can get everything to work properly. But we are going to do a Soul Link of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. It's probably going to be randomized. We haven't quite decided yet, but most likely going to be randomized. And then my buddy who's coming over tonight, we are in the process of playing Mario Galaxy, and we're trying to 100% it. And while we're already 70 stars in, so I'm not going to start recording now, we have said that once we finish Mario Galaxy, we're going to move on to Sunshine. I've talked about this before. All I have to do is get a capture card, which I have the money to get a capture card. I just haven't gone out and gotten one yet. But we're going to try to finish up Mario Galaxy tonight. And then the next time me and him get together, I'm going to have a capture card by that point. And then we're going to start a couch co-op playthrough of Super Mario Sunshine, which, as I think I've said before, is a game that, while I have played, I've never beaten. So I'm very excited to get a chance to beat it. So, but yeah, so that's essentially been it. I know it's not, as dramatic of an update review as before. It's like, oh yeah, I got in a fight and lost my cat that I never owned, and my third child got kidnapped, and blah blah blah. Life's been great. Is the best thing I can say. Life's been amazing. I've just been busy, which to me that's not a bad thing. But yeah, that's about it. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say this. So this is kind of unlike my content. This is a little more serious of a message, but it's something that I've gone through. I've known people who have gone through it, and I kind of wanted to just put this out there for anyone it might pertain to. So, I want to very quickly talk about workplace stress. Now, for those of you of the channel who have been here for a while, probably know I'm a hospitality management major. Management and business is kind of like my whole ordeal. Working with people, working with customers, how to properly manage and work with others. So I take that stuff very seriously. And at the end of the day, it's very important. It's very important to the business, to make sure you're getting max efficiency out of your coworkers and employees. But at the same time, it's also very important for the health and sake of your own employees. Hold on 1 second. Turn this down just a little bit. All right, yeah. Sorry if that's been too loud. I don't think it has been, but I know I'm talking a little quieter than usual, so I just wanted to turn the game down a bit so y'all could hear me better. But improfessionalities aside, if you are at work, there are some important signs to look for in yourself to realize whether or not you're being stressed out. Those signs are, and they're easy to miss because they're easy to pinpoint on anything else: lack of sleep, constantly feeling tired, lack of motivation, slight depression, or sometimes serious depression, depending on how bad the situation is, and either extreme weight loss due to lack of eating or extreme weight gain due to overeating. As well as, the weight gain can also come from a lack of good sleep, because good sleep is important to losing weight properly. But the reason I'm saying all these is because, like I said, they're all very easy to miss. And, I've went through these negative things myself recently at my past job because of all the stress that, I've talked about some of it, but I've not talked about nearly all of it. Probably won't because, it's in the past, but I'll probably tell some other stories at some point. But I've also had family members that have witnessed go through this. One that went through this around the exact same time as me. And being able to sit down and talk with her about it, it gave me a new perspective on it. And that's kind of why I wanted to say this little PSA to you guys. Working is very important. We all have bills to pay. We all have goals we want to meet. We all have stuff we want to do. So working is very important. I'm never going to condone anyone who's like, just quit your job. But it's very, very easy to get comfortable at a place of work that is not good for your mental or physical health. And most people shrug this off by saying, well, it's a job. It's not supposed to be fun. There's going to be stresses to it. And while, yes, that's true, my whole field is hospitality management, which is one of the most stressful, hectic fields you can work in most people's opinion, because it's different every single day. New challenges face you every single day, every hour, honestly, on your shift. But the reason I say this is, these things that have been happening at my job, that just really started weighing on me, the constant stress, the constant infighting, the constant insults, the depression that came with it, the lack of motivation to do anything that eventually arose. All those things had been happening at my job for a long period of time. None of them were new. None of them just randomly showed up one day. But I was comfortable at my job. I was too comfortable at my job. My job was familiar. I knew what to expect going in there for the most part. Even if the thing that I came to expect I knew was ultimately bad, aka constantly being blamed for stuff, having to fight against management that had no clue what they were talking about because they've never worked the position in their life and stuff like that. Familiarity brings comfortability. And that saying can go for way more than just work. It can go to bad relationships. It can go to a stage in your life, health. It's like, I'm more comfortable doing this than working out, or, yeah, sure, me and my girlfriend fight all the time, but at least I know she's here, or boyfriend, or whoever you're dating, I understand that because I've been through it in many, many different facets. But what I'm just trying to say is, you got to look out for yourself at the end of the day. Because ultimately, and not everyone's going to struggle with this. I struggle with it more than other people, I think, because of how seriously I take my jobs. To me, working a job and working a job well is more than just a paycheck. It's my reputation. It's my experience. It's my livelihood. And even if it's not a career for me, I still take it very seriously, almost as if it was. And that has always been an issue for me, and I will admit that. If you don't struggle with it, then you're probably less likely to deal with the stress that I and others have. But for those that do take it very seriously, that have a hard time putting yourself above the business, as dumb as that may sound, there are a lot of people like that. I just want to say this. The business doesn't care about you. And this isn't me trying to be a super negative Nancy, fight the system, rebel, nothing like that. What I mean is you can have managers that value you, coworkers that love you, or if you're in a higher position, employees, lower level employees that respect you. You can have all those things. But at the end of the day, if you are working for a bigger corporation, or hell, even maybe a smaller one, that corporation does not give a rat's ass about you. You are replaceable. You are expendable. You are nothing more than an asset. And you will continue to be an asset until you no longer serve a purpose to them. And like I said, that's not me trying to be wholly negative or be depressing. That's just the way it is. But that mentality also works on the reverse. That job is replaceable. Especially when you're, a younger part-time worker, trying to get through college or just start out. That job is replaceable. Now, that doesn't mean just quit a job and hope and pray you find one. I will go ahead and tell everyone now, if you are thinking about quitting a job, make sure you have something lined up. Whether it be some form of alternative income that can get you by, or a new job wound up, or maybe you hit the lottery and you're gonna save and retire at the age of 30. Whatever it be, make sure you have something lined up. Because as far as getting a job in the future, it looks terrible to have a gap in unemployment that you can't really account for. I'm about to have a gap in unemployment for a little bit, and I'm nervous, but I'll be safe because I know it's only going to be about 3 months. And if they say, like I saw, I see this gap in employment here, what happened, I can say it's like, well, I wanted to finish out my last semester of school. I was taking all my hardest classes for the last semester, and I put way too much effort into work than I do school. So, me and my dad, we worked out a thing to where he was going to help me out just a little bit, enough to get by while I finished out school, And that's the truth of the matter, and they probably won't penalize me or anyone else with a similar set of circumstances. But that's my whole point, though. You are replaceable to that job, and that job is replaceable to you. If you have a toxic relationship with one of your managers, to where that manager is constantly trying to pin blame on you, constantly trying to get you in trouble, trying to get you out the door, despite the fact you're trying to give everything you got, don't stick around for that. Because here's the problem. 99% of the time, that manager is going to win. Even if you're doing everything right, that manager has more power, more prestige, higher rank than you. And when it comes to the real higher-ups, they're probably going to look at that manager before they look at the employees, at what the employee's saying. Quick example of this at my store, or my old job, with my deli manager. 5 of us, out of 11 workers, 5 of us went to the assistant store manager and complained. And we all had very similar complaints. Lack of good management, never really seemed to be working to help us out, always off on our phone, always standing in the lobby talking to customers and friends, always yelling at us to get stuff done, even though she would be leaving a whole load of stuff for us to do, which she should have had done. Despite us constantly going to him with these complaints, with these genuine complaints, all he said every single time we went to him was, well, every time I look at her, she's working hard. And that's the thing. They're going to base it on what they see, not what they hear. And that's kind of one of the fallacies of the whole situation. It goes just back to my girlfriend and the problem she's had with her management. She's technically a manager, but she does not have the permissions of a manager. She cannot write anyone up. She cannot enforce any sort of discipline or punishment. All she can do is essentially be a whistleblower about it. If someone messes up, she has to report it to the store manager or the manager directly above her, and they have to take action on it. But see, the problem is they're in this loop to where she's a cashier manager, by the way. But none of the cashiers below her take her seriously because she has no power or authority over any of them. And they all know that. So, her boss, talking about my girlfriend, always gets frustrated with her saying, you need to hold people accountable. You need to hold people responsible for their actions. And then when my girlfriend's like, how do I do that? I can't write them up. I tell them 1,000 times they can't do this, but because I cannot inflict any direct punishment onto them, they don't listen. They do what they want. And so her boss to her said, well, the next time you have a problem person that, keeps doing this over and over, let me know. Contact me and I'll resolve it. To which my girlfriend said, okay. And then like a week or 2 later, she had someone who kept leaving the register. He did not want to stay at the register. He just kept leaving, walking down the aisles. They were busy. He needed to stay at his post, but he didn't. And she kept telling him, look, you cannot leave. And he's like, okay, I got you. And then as soon as she turns her back on him, he's gone. And so she ended up going to the manager about that and said, look, here's what happened. I told him multiple times. He kept leaving. He's putting us in a bad spot. And the only response the manager had to her was, well, I didn't see it, so I'm not going to punish him for that. You see the issue there? And that's common. That's very commonplace, Because, there are people who will lie. there are a lot of people who will lie in work, especially about how effective someone else is. Hell, I experienced it, I got in a big argument with a coworker at an old job back when I was a manager, because he was lying and putting words in my mouth to the store manager about things I said and did, And granted, luckily in that situation, I had witnesses, that could back me up and say, like, no, he never said that. This dude's lying. So I never got in any direct trouble for it. But I still got chewed out at first because someone lied. So that does happen. But that's what I'm saying is, you're going to have some great managers. You're going to have some bad managers. And for those that are managers, you can be a great manager or you could be a bad manager. I was a pretty bad manager when I first started out. Now, I ended up getting a lot better through practice and time. But this isn't about management too much. This is about just pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to how your managers are acting. Pay attention to how you're feeling. I'm not saying like, oh, you offended me or I don't agree with one thing. You're going to have managers that do things differently than how you think they should be done. You need to suck that up. I'm going to go ahead and say that. But if you're having a manager who isn't being professional, who isn't doing what's best for the business and definitely not doing what's best for you as the worker, as the backbone of the business, you don't need to waste your time with that. Because ultimately, it's going to put you in a bad spot. And the longer you let yourself stay in that bad spot, the harder it's going to be for you to recover. So, I know I kind of went on for a little bit. This is supposed to be a happy video, but I wanted to talk about that because it's very important to me, and I want to see, if anyone else is going through something similar, maybe my words can help inspire them. So, but I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. I appreciate y'all allowing me to hit 20 subscribers, and next goal I'm going for 50. So I have a subscriber goal now. I want to try to get to 50. So I appreciate all your guys' help with that and the help that I'm sure y'all will give me in the future. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.